Hi Year 13s, I'm going to do an example with a nice easy expansion but a tricky finding an approximate value for root 5 because you're not prompted they don't tell you what x is to begin with. Okay, right, so first of all we need the expansion. So the square root of 1 plus x, we want to expand up to the x cubed term, so that's 1 plus x to the power of half. And then we use our formula. Oops. Okay, so we've got n, which is a half, times x, and then n times n minus 1 over 2 factorial times x squared, and then n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 over 3 factorial times x cubed, and it would go on, but we just need the cubic. Okay, if you work that out, then you get 1 plus x over 2 minus x squared over 8 plus x cubed over 16. Okay. Right, now we need to also state the range of values for x for which it's valid. It's just plain old x, nice and simple, so it's valid for mod x is less than 1. Okay. Right then, now the tricky bit. Use your expansion to get an approximate value of root 5 to 4 decimal places. Okay, so if we look at root 5 and we look at 1 plus x, we might think, oh, I could use x is 4. But that's not okay because our expansion is not valid when x is 4. Okay, so we can't do that. So what we look for is we're trying to find a fraction that's equivalent to 5, okay? And we want to have a nice square number as our denominator because then we can have the square root of a nice square number, we get a whole number, all right? So let's think of our square number. So the next square number is 4. So if we had 5 times 4 on the top and 1 times 4 on the bottom, okay? So we'd have root 5 times 2 over root 2, yep. Okay, so that would be equivalent. Okay. So unfortunately that 4 isn't usable. So instead, let's just think if we can think of any fractions that are going to help us. We like to have fractions over nice square numbers. So instead of having 5 over 1, we could have 5 over 4, we could have 5 over 9, 5 over 16, and so on. Because when we square root those, the denominator will just be a lovely whole number. So we're going to get a kind of a nice simple fraction of root 5, so we can just multiply our expansion by that nice whole number denominator and we'll get root 5 on its own. Okay, now the one that's appealing is this one because this is 1 plus 1/4, okay, whereas this is less than 1 and so we need 1 plus something. So let's go with root 5 over 4 is equal to root 1 plus 1/4. So we're going to use x is a quarter. All right, and we can use our expansion of this then. So we've got 1 plus a quarter over 2 minus a quarter squared over 8 plus a quarter cubed over 16. Okay, now if you type that carefully, then you should get 1.11816 and so on. Okay, so I store that on my calculator. So this is the same as root 5 over root 4. So that's root 5 over 2. So if I want to get root 5, then I will just multiply that by the 2. And when you do that, you get 2.2363 to 4 decimal places. Okay, now if you check what root 5 is on your calculator, it agrees to the first 3 decimal places, so that's pretty good.